Hello everybody, I've been watching a lot of Nerdchacho videos and playing Planet Coaster, and I haven't been playing DCS very much, so I apologize to my normal DCS viewers. I will get in the air again soon, but I've been building a real-life roller coaster replica in Planet Coaster, so thanks Nerdchacho for motivating me to do that. Can you tell what it is? So, uh, obviously, you probably could tell from from the thumbnail and the title that this is Gatekeeper. Um, I'm going to talk a lot about why I built this particular roller coaster later. At the end of the video, we'll spend more time on it. I just want to spend a small amount of time here just talking about it. I did not record building the track because honestly, I didn't know it was going to work. I didn't know what I was doing. There's a lot of things I still need to fix, but at this stage, I have the layout complete, and I started doing the maintenance area, and I started doing the station. I don't want to get too much into what I can and can't do and the concessions I'm making, but what I wanted to point out is that I know that a lot of this stuff isn't quite right. I hand built almost every section of this. I hand built these with collisions turned on. I've learned a lot since I built these, and I wish I could start it over, but I'm not going to because I think I can make them better. But these pass the collision stuff. But this isn't quite right here. This transition isn't quite right. This is not quite right. This is not quite right. This is not quite right. But what is correct, as far as I can make it in Planet Coaster, is all of the heights of these hills all the way out to this one. After that, I couldn't really get a lot of data on how tall everything was, so I just tried to make it look as close as I could. I used a lot of pictures. I used a lot of Google Earth satellite views and stuff like that, and a lot of technical data to try to make it all work. So anyway, I didn't record any of that, so sorry about that. But let's continue the build, and we're adjusting track, and we are doing more details now. So let's get to building that. Okay, we have quite a bit more done. I have adjusted the track in a few areas. It's actually made this hill a little bit wonky, but I don't know that there's much I can do about that. It doesn't look too bad here, but in the POV it looks a little bit weird. Also down here, I did a lot of editing on this bit of track to try to make it better, and this gets a little wonky, especially in POV. You can kind of see how it kinks right now. It's fine. It just doesn't look as smooth as the real ride. So, but we've got our access to the brake run. We've got custom supports. We've got access to here. We've got a decent amount of the detail in the station done. I've got some more to do. Again, I'm going to talk more about this later, but I've got I started looking at POV in real life and trying to get some of the stuff that's on the course, some detail actually out there on it. Let's see, we had something on this final block brake section too. Got some lights, some electronics and stuff. On custom sports, I want to address this now. You will notice that they don't look right, and that's because I've been learning Theme Maker's Toolkit and been learning how to build in Planet Coaster while I put all of this together, and so these don't look right. I was just doing the best I could, making something look halfway realistic, and I'm not using the correct. These are all like Giga Coaster supports, which aren't what Gatekeeper actually has. And it bothers me now, but I spent so long getting these in place, and I didn't really find the supports I wanted to use until I was almost done. And so I'm just not going to go back and fix it. Like, these are okay. These I built, and they're close to what is in real life. So about it was about right here where I started building these a little bit closer to real life. I think I got like these two out here, and yeah, I know they're not in the ground yet. I've got some more work to do there. These two are okay. That one less so. This one more so. Actually, this one's not even that close. But yeah, it took me all the way. These I'm good with because these were hand built and easy to find pictures of. They're mostly good. Anyway, I don't want to talk too much on that. I just wanted to address the fact that we've got these weird looking track supports that don't quite look right. So I'm sorry for that. There's nothing I'm going to do about it now. There's a lot of other problems we'll address later, but we got to get back to building. We got more to do. See you in a minute. Okay, here we are. Welcome back. I'm calling this done for now. There's a lot I don't like about it, a lot I wish I could change, a lot that I can't change because either I made a decision too early in the design process or Planet Coaster won't let me. And we're going to talk about it a lot. We're going to talk about the fact that this is quite different than the real Gatekeeper Plaza. I wanted it to be different. I what this is not the greatest coaster in the world. This is just a tribute. Um, and I'm not saying that Gatekeeper is the greatest coaster in the world, but it is probably my favorite coaster experience of all the coasters I've ridden. I had a really good time at Cedar Point over the summer. I'm going to talk about that a little bit more. Um, but there's a lot wrong with this. Obviously, I'm going to change. I'm changing sort of the way this plaza is used. As you can tell, there's not the big shades out here or the design features that are in the actual Gatekeeper Plaza. I'm going to put some shops and stuff up here. There are shops over here. I've also extended the mulched area of this. This is like a minor thing, but that's because I had to cover up some sins over here. The paths were just a nightmare to work with. Also, I've tried to build these features a few times and I just can't, and I can't find any on the Theme Maker's Toolkit, so those aren't there. I need to put something there. I'd like to eventually get the Gatekeeper signage there. This I built in GIMP. I have a Gatekeeper sign that someone made. I don't know who, that I was going to put over the top. That's why I shadowed this picture. Um, but the Gatekeeper sign is way too big. What I found is on the Theme Maker's Toolkit, sometimes you'll find really cool stuff and then the scale's all off. Also, I need to address a few more things. The queue is not at all correct, and most of this queue is just empty. They can't get into it. Basically, I made it so that there were like chained off areas where if it got really busy, they could open them up. I tried to mimic the real life queue a little bit, but I have this piece of track. This turnaround is actually too big, and the lift hill doesn't start correctly in relation to the station. I didn't notice that until I started putting in the custom ride supports. This queue shouldn't go this far out here relative to these supports and stuff. So anyway, it's just wrong. It's wrong. There's so much of this track that's wrong. Um, but I did clean up this a little bit. It's a little bit better. This is even worse based on some cleanup that I had to do. I need to try to smooth that up a little bit. What else is wrong? There's a lot of stuff wrong. I think this might be even a little bit worse. Obviously, I've put a bunch of trees and stuff out here because this is Griffin Point. This isn't Cedar Point. I did want to keep sort of some of the same theming for the entrance. I'm going to move that a little bit. And I think I've got a ticket thing that someone built. I didn't build this. I built this, and I'm not done with it. But I didn't build this, and there's another piece that kind of matches that I didn't build that I'm going to put over here at some point. We're not here to talk about the rest of the park though. But I tried to do like a maintenance area. I'm gonna put some cars and stuff in here. That, like I said, this is done for now. Um, the station is too high, and and the exit. The exit was something that I was gonna talk about because the exit's really messed up. I did have the exit going through here, um, as it should, but for one, these guys were all getting stuck in there, and we're going to look in there in a minute. Everybody was getting stuck in there, and I kept seeing pictures. There's actually another entrance right here in real life. I don't know where it goes. I don't really remember how the queue went. I think it went up under the station a bit. Um, but then to exit, excuse me, to exit, I think you would come out here and then go into like a building that's not exactly like this. But I'd already built this and gotten it pretty much done by the time I realized that and saw some pictures of it from the right angle. And so I just left it. I like the way it looks over here. It's fine. And that's not an actual shop anyway, so I don't care that they're not going through there. I just wanted it to look right. So I'm really happy with the way this turned out. And I know this is probably a copyrighted or trademarked logo, so like I wouldn't put this on the workshop with that. I'd have to come up with something else. But the shop's not perfect. I got tired of kitting it out. But I've got some animatronics. Don't know who did these animatronics, but they saved me. I would look for them for hours. But we've got us a little shop in here. We've got ride photos. These are pictures that I actually took of people on the rides, and I love some of the faces. Like this dude, man, what a mustache, and he's rocking the shades. There's another dude in here somewhere that I think he's kind of in the back. That guy's having a good time. There was some like old dude in the background of one of them, I thought, but anyway, maybe I didn't use that one. And then on the back, I just put up some ads. Now, Nerdchacho, I hope you don't mind. I stole your little intro. I can almost hear your music playing. Whenever I see that. I've watched so many of your videos, but honestly, and I'll take this time to say, thanks. I sort of sarcastically thanked you for getting me down this rabbit hole at the beginning of the video, but it's been a lot of fun. It's nerve wracking, but I think I've got nearly 200 hours in Planet Coaster since I bought it last month, and probably 180 of them have been spent on this project. It's a lot of work doing this stuff, so I don't foresee myself doing it very much more. But I wanted to make sure that I've really been enjoying Nerdchacho's videos, and they're really entertaining and informative, like historically informative from even engineering perspectives sometimes about roller coasters and theme parks. So go check them out. Obviously, got to throw an ad up here for Bullseye, and then this is just my own channel, as if you needed, um, well, more people need to see ads for my channel because YouTube is not helping me out at all. Anyway, let's get out of there before I go on a rant. I changed this a lot, and I love the way these buildings came together. I just started throwing stucco building. These are three different buildings, actually. I've got bathrooms here, and I'm not going to kit those out the way Nerdchacho would. I am not going to take that time. I got a few shops here, and then I've got a staff building here. Now, this wound up looking a little bit like a barn, and I wasn't intending that to happen. That looks like a barn, though. Get back to work. But I built that building, and I put all these shops in on the same grid, and then I angled these shops a little bit and built a new building, and then I angled these and built a new building, and then I just started building around them, and man, it really worked out. I am stoked about how this turned out. And what I'm going for here is a little bit of a generic old school theme. I really like this sort of like half timbered building look. I didn't want to theme it like pirates or castles or fairy tale or anything like that. The Gatekeeper area theming is a little bit generic in a way. Um, so I wanted to stay kind of true to that. Just like I'm trying to stay true to everything while adding my own flavor to it a little bit. The roller coaster I wanted to be as close to real as possible, but everything else I just wanted to stay true to the theme a little bit, but also add my own flavor. So anyway, that's what's going on here, and I love the way it worked out. And that also allowed me. There is a pirate ship kind of near the entrance on your way back from Gatekeeper. So I threw this pirate ship in. I'm not even close to done with this yet, but I love the way it's turning out. And again, this isn't a pirate theme. This is more of like a Golden Age of Sail theme. And so I was sort of thinking about Patrick O'Brien books, Captain Aubrey, Stephen Maturin. If you haven't watched Master and Commander or read those books, you're missing out big time. So this is named HMS Surprise, and I think it goes okay with that theme. Now it doesn't go okay with this building, which I tried to make super super generic, and I cannot keep employees in these shops. This guy's okay, but these other three shops are just a nightmare, and I don't know why. Like I raised their salaries and trained them and raised prices in the shops and all that. Anyway, I'm not done with this. I'm not going to talk about that too much. Um, Oh, one last thing I want to talk about, and then we're going to do some POV stuff. The reason I chose this roller coaster is because I'm going to try not to talk too lengthily about this. But over the summer, we went on vacation. My son graduated from high school, and so we asked him where he wanted to go, and he said, we can go wherever, but I'd like to ride some roller coasters." So we went to some places we'd never been before, saw some cool things, but our main point was going to Cedar Point. That was the main purpose of our vacation. So we spent a day at Cedar Point, and I was having back problems, and so I really shouldn't have been riding roller coasters. In fact, like I had the worst experience with my back and the nerves in my leg that I've ever had. I'm still dealing with it. Um, because I rode Blue Streak. I think it's because I already had back problems and we'd walked a bunch the days up to that. And then I rode Blue Streak first thing. And after that, I was like, nope, I'm just riding smooth roller coasters. So we went over to Gatekeeper and we watched it, and it's like, that looks pretty smooth. Let's go ride it. I didn't even think about the fact that it is a wing coaster, and I'd never ridden a wing coaster before. But basically, you've got Lake Erie over, like, all around here. You got the park over here, and you ride this beautiful B&M coaster, which it actually, I was doing some research on it. It actually has sound damping material inside the box. So it's supposed to reduce the B&M whoosh sound that you hear, I guess. Very cool. But this was a record-breaking coaster, and obviously it's really kind of cool with the keyhole features that you go through. It was a super, super fun ride. I would ride this over and over and over again. So Cedar Point, kudos to you guys. If anybody from Cedar Point ever watches this video, kudos, because this was a wonderful roller coaster experience. This is, I didn't build these over here. This is Valraven and Raptor. We did not get to ride Valraven that day. In fact, I regret that my back started hurting a lot more later that day. It was more from the walking than the roller coasters, and the lines were getting long, and we had to get to another town in another state, and so to get to our hotel, so we actually had to leave before we got to ride Millennium Force, Maverick, um, Steel Vengeance, and Valraven. Those were the main ones. We didn't ride Rougarou, or however you pronounce that, either. We didn't really regret that one too much, but we kind of walked to the back of the park after my kids rode Corkscrew about 8 times, and after we rode Raptor. And we had to stand in line for quite a while to ride Raptor, which was also a great experience because my daughter rode it, and she was like really, really scared. And we got on the front row, so it was absolutely fantastic. So anyway, it was a great experience. So Cedar Point, like, well done. We are looking forward to going back to Cedar Point. My entire family wants to go back at some point, so we're gonna have to make another trip up to Sandusky to go to Cedar Point. So really happy with your park. It was really good, really great experience. The coasters are fantastic. So there was something else I was going to talk about. I know that I said that was the last thing. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. You can't build this station correctly in Planet Coaster because you have to enter and exit from. You have to enter from a side and exit from a side. Um, Gatekeeper exits and enters from both sides because you can't go over the track, as you can expect. This isn't even. I don't even think this does it justice. But like, you can't cross this track. I'm sure the staff can if they have safety measures in place, but you can't cross this track to get out the other side. Um, the guests just sort of clip anyway. So I just kind of built this over here to put some semblance of entrance and exit. But anyway, this is a super, super cool roller coaster. And so we're going to jump into POV here in a sec. But just one last time, thanks to Cedar Point for a great park and a great coaster experience. And thanks to Nerdchacho for, I guess, like, motivating me to do this insane project. But also, more importantly, for the entertainment and the knowledge, because I wouldn't have been able to figure out how to do some of this stuff without having something to watch. All right, POV.